Welcome to the Nightly News Podcast. This is Professor Paul Miller, and I'm here today with one of my favorite guests that we have every single month, Adrienne Thoman, Student Activity Director here at Central Penn College.
Hello, everyone.
Adrienne, you come on every month, and we absolutely really appreciate the fact that you do come on each month with us, because one of the initiatives that we're trying to do here is to educate the students on some of the major things we have going on here on campus. So we always come here with Adrienne's Featured 3 every month, but we also like to try to add and highlight some of the other things on the August calendar. So one of the things that I do want to start off with and chat with you about a little bit is each term, Week 4 is always a very stressful time for our students for the simple fact that it's registration time.
Mm-hmm. Very important week.
One of the things that I try very hard to do, not only just in my CPC Foundations class, but in all my classes, is I try to offer the students help with their registration. Now, sometimes, obviously, we should try to reach out to our advisor. Our advisor should always be the first person that we reach out to for registration help. But sometimes, and I've had this happen to me with some specific students, my schedule and their schedule is the exact opposite. So unless they would come in at 8 in the morning, which is a difficult sell for any student, or me staying later in the afternoon, which I'm willing to do, it's not always easy to connect when you need to. Can you give us some discussion here? I do notice that we have several online course registration workshops coming up in the first week of August. Can you just chat with the students a little bit about the importance of these course registration workshops, especially if they're not able to get in with their advisor right away?
Absolutely. So this is just another resource for you here on campus that you're able to connect with staff members to get support with registration. So our registrar's office, they set up actually through weeks 4, 5, and 6, they have sessions that you can connect with them and get support with registration. Definitely encourage you. As Professor Miller said, your advisor is a great first point of contact. So talk to your advisor. But as another resource as well, you have these registration workshops to check in with as well.
I just want to give a couple of dates for that. The very first one is going to be Thursday, August the 3rd in the ATEC lobby from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There will also be one during Week 5 on Tuesday the 8th from 1 to 3. And finally, during Week 6, you will find a course registration workshop in the ATEC lobby from 1 to 3.
There's more than that. We have a bunch. So Week 4, you've got the 3rd. Week 6, we've got the 8th and the 10th. And then Week 6, you've got the 16th. So there's a number of sessions to check
4 total, and the one thing I do know that they do is they constantly have them staggered at different times in case, let's say the 11 to 1 you have class, you can always hit the 1 to 3 later in week number 5. So
I do think it's great, too. They're right in the ATEC lobby, so students can just walk through, pop in, super easy to get to and connect with them.
And the records office does a very nice job of assisting our students as well, so we appreciate that they do that as well. So course registration coming up Week 4, but don't fret because we've got tons of help here for you on campus, whether it's the different workshops that they are offering or whether it's through your advisor or heck, even somebody in your own major might be able to help you out. So we have all kinds of different assistance for you here on campus picking your classes. Adrienne, another event that I want to talk to you about that is outside of your Featured 3 for the month of August is the Alumni Leadership Conference. That's coming up on August the 22nd from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Conference Center at Central Penn College. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the Alumni Leadership Conference is all about and maybe some of the people who might be involved with that?
All right, first of all, what an opportunity. The Alumni Leadership Conference is planned by Sarah Blumenshine in our alumni office. She does an incredible job putting together a day full of motivational speakers, bringing back a lot of our alumni. We recently had, as part of our Common Hour series, we had 2 alums, Leonard Chester and Jade Harper. They came back to campus and shared an amazing story, and they were on this podcast as well, an amazing story about the development of their nonprofit called the Overcame Foundation. Leonard is actually coming back. He's going to be speaking at this leadership conference as well. really, really excited to hear him. Plus, it's open to not just students, it's faculty, it's staff, it's community, it's alumni. I mean, truly, it's open to everyone. So not only are you getting to hear these great speakers, but you're getting to connect with other members of the community and do a little networking too when you're in those sessions.
And our discussion with Leonard will be coming up later on in this podcast. So you can tune in for Leonard Chester of the Overcame Foundation coming up in just a little bit. We did have a wonderful opportunity, Adrienne, and we will return to the Alumni Leadership Conference in just a second. But you did mention the Overcame Foundation. How wonderful was it to see two former Central Penn students and in just a couple of short years have literally transformed their entire lives by starting this nonprofit organization?
I was really, for me as a professional in higher ed, that is what it's all about. It really is. To see them and seeing all, not just them, but all of our students, to see the amazing things that they're accomplishing. And the coolest thing is they met here. They met at Central Penn, connected, and created this organization that's doing all of this good in the community. So, I mean, there isn't anything cooler than that.
One of the things that we talked about, Adrienne, when we had Jade on, and that was just released last week, we had Jade on, and she was one of the original podcasters here on this campus, not with the Nightly News. This was actually before the Nightly News was a thing. They were podcasting in their rooms on their cell phones.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, and she was actually one of the people that was one of the reasons that we got the Nightly News started, because we were like, this is crazy. We at least have to provide them with some type of equipment to get these kids, podcasting professionally. And they did a really nice job. And I've listened to some of them, but I'll tell you what, she came in here and she's like, "Where was this when I was here?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hey, it was all thanks to you that this is here, because we felt that people that were in our program were wanting this type of thing." So it was really, it was, and you make the comment that, in higher ed, this is what we want to see. I told him the same thing. I said, I'm so proud of you, and I had the opportunity to have both of them in class, and to see even where they were then to where they are now. I mean, even in just, I believe it was 2 years. I mean, I just saw Jade recently, but 2 years since they'd been in school, and I was just blown away. It was wonderful. All right, back to the Alumni Leadership Conference, Adrienne. I am actually fortunate enough that I'm going to be on a couple of the panels, and Sarah has actually asked me to introduce some of the panelists and also to be involved in another one of the sessions. So I'm very much looking forward to this. This is actually the first time that I'm ever doing anything like this.
What?
Yeah. Now I've done presentations in front of thousands of people before, but I've never done something quite like this, and I'm nervous to a certain point, because I want to make sure that the people coming onto our campus feel treated with respect. So I'm looking forward to that. But the key is here, very rarely do the students understand how important something like this is. In fact, I just came from the internship fair, and the fact that we as a school do these types of things and expose our students to them. For example, you just took how many students to the Senators game last week?
We had a full van. I think we had 16 or 17 that were there.
So, but my point is that experience that those students had with alumni could have potentially changed someone's life forever. Mm-hmm. Maybe they met somebody who they didn't know. I mean, that's an incredible opportunity that you provide the students by doing things like that. Now, here's another chance for students to be involved in a very professional conference, something that often costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars to even be a part of, and to have this opportunity right here on campus, literally walk 20 feet from their room.
And for our students, it's free.
Absolutely.
It's being sponsored by the, I believe the Education Foundation has sponsored the registration of the students, and they get to attend for free and get that value. And you're so right. You never know the person that you're going to meet next, or that you might be sitting next to in that session, and how they might connect and really change the whole direction of your life, which is, I know that's a little intense, but everybody that comes into your life is going to affect you in some way, and you never know who that contact might be that you learn something from, or show you a different experience, or just a lot of great opportunity.
Well, and so again, the Alumni Leadership Conference is coming up on Tuesday, August 22nd. It's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I did talk to Sarah, and she said that depending on your class schedule, you can kind of come and go. She does and is going to provide a schedule, so maybe if you can't stay all day, maybe you can try to target some of the specific sessions and panels that you would like to make sure that you see. But really, I'm sure Adrienne would agree, we just would love the students to be there and experience this wonderful opportunity because, to be honest with you, it's something that honestly a lot of other schools don't give their students this kind of opportunity to, be a part of something like this.
We're going to be looking for all of you there.
Well, it would be awesome if, and I'm having my classes come, and I know that several other professors are doing the same thing, so that might make it a little bit easier for the students to come. Adrienne, there is a couple of things that we want to chat about, specifically the Adrienne's Featured 3, which is our favorite segment on the podcast. But I did just want to give some clarification on any of the things that we've been talking about so far. So check your activities calendar for all of the different. There are 4 different course registration workshops at various times during week 4, 5, and 6 that take place in the ATEC lobby. If you've got any kind of questions about registration, certainly reach out to your advisor first. But if maybe you guys can connect on a specific time, or you just need some help, or maybe you've just never done this before. I've got a lot of students in my freshman seminar class that they're already super excited about next week. They're, how am I supposed to look for classes? I'm like, we will talk about it. Everything will be okay. But that's a great place to start off. Also, we do have the Alumni Leadership Conference coming up on August 22nd in the Conference Center from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. All right, well, Adrienne, it is now time for our favorite segment of the week, Adrienne's Featured 3.
All right, I love it. So first off, for you, I have the first event that I wanted to mention is the ATEC dance. Now, this is a every term tradition. We have a dance in our ATEC building in the conference center. Get a ton of students, have music, have a DJ. Usually we have a fun theme. So this year's ATEC dance, or this term's ATEC dance, is going to be Friday, August the 11th. Now, there's going to be a little bit of a pre-party. The student ambassadors are going to be doing a parking lot party behind Ann Hall from 3 to 5. So you'll do that first. The dance starts at 9. And, cool little addition, DJ Bub, who's actually one of our students here, is going to be DJ for the dance. So we're excited. I know the students are pumped about having him do all the music. He's really looking forward to it, too. The Activities Advisory Board, they're part of this event as well. And the theme was just voted on. They sent out a survey through SurveyMonkey to all of our students that are signed up for our text message service. And the theme that was selected was Summer Nights.
Sounds like a winner.
I think it's going to be good. So definitely make sure you check that out. August 11th, 9 to midnight, Summer Nights.
What is the second event, Adrienne?
So have you ever played cornhole?
I'm a cornhole master.
Oh, well, then you've got to sign up for the cornhole tournament. And here's the cool part about this. There's going to be a cash prize. Money, cash in your hand to the winners. So that's going to be Thursday, August 17th from 5 to 7 in the quad. You compete in pairs. So you need a buddy. You need to sign up with me in advance so I know how many cornhole boards we need. But, so we're going to play, we're going to compete, and then send some winners home with some cold, hard cash.
Do you have a collection of cornhole boards, or are you going to purchase them?
Well, campus already has one.
Okay.
There will be a giant set of boards from my house. I'm going to steal them from my husband. And then whoever else I can get their hands on. So please remind me about that. I can probably come up with 1 or 2 for you. That would be awesome. Thank you.
I think what we should do is this. I think whoever wins should take me and a mystery partner on, and maybe depending on what the cash prize is, we'll double it if they can beat us.
I love that.
Because I'm known to be a rather good cornhole player.
Is this legit? Like, is this official because you said it on a podcast?
Well, yeah.
So we can hold you to this?
Well, I can always edit it out later if not. No, yes, of course. Now, I wouldn't be able to do it that day, but we could sort of set up, there's an opportunity for you to even win more if you can beat us.
We totally have to do that now.
I'm in. I just have to find my mystery partner, and we'll go from there. But
Don't pick me because I'm bad. I am not good at cornhole.
And we'd have to do a best-of-3 situation in the championship match. But yeah, that's really cool. I've always play, and I've been playing for a long time, so I would love to do that. All right, Adrienne, what's the third and final event for August?
I'm really excited to announce a third event. This is something brand new to campus. In the past, we've done a women's leadership retreat. Typically happens in the spring. We've done that for 3 years now. And finally, this year, we're going to have the opportunity to do something similar for our gentlemen here on campus. It's going to be a very small group. So if you're interested in this, make sure you sign up early. There are going to be limited spots available. But Friday, August the 25th to Saturday the 26th is going to be our first men's leadership retreat. We're going to go to Diacon Wilderness Center. There's going to be some hiking and some campfires and I believe some high ropes. If you've been to Diacon, they have an amazing high ropes course, super scary and fun. And it's going to be facilitated by Curtis Volker and Dylan Epler.
Curtis was just on and did a full 40-minute podcast that will be coming up next week for some of the initiatives that he's a part of. And he loves being on. It was so nice to have him on. So Nightly News listeners, stay tuned for more from Curtis as well. All right, Adrienne, just a quick recap. Obviously, the 11th of August, Friday night, we've got the Student Ambassadors Parking Lot Party, the sort of pre-party to the big event, A-Tech Dance with DJ Bub on the 11th of August from 9 to midnight. We've got the Cornhole Tournament that's going to take place August the 17th from 5 to 7 in the quad, and the winners will get me and a mystery guest and for the opportunity to win some additional cash.
Oh, I love it.
After the fact. And then our final event is the Men's Leadership Retreat. Very few people able to go to this, so if you do want more information, please be sure to contact Adrienne for a little bit more information. Adrienne, one final thing that I wanted to chat with you about, because I always have to throw you a curveball here.
All right, I love it. I wait for this.
One of the things that I'd recently had Kristen Fike on, and she was talking about her club, the Colleges Against Cancer, that some of the initiatives that they've been working on. And I see on the activities calendar here on the 12th of August is the Bras Across the Bridge at City Island. I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit more about that, maybe put in a plug for that if any of the students either want to join or contact you about how to get there and be a part of this.
Absolutely. So Bras Across the Bridge is actually the community version. If you were on campus with us fall last year, you participated in or saw Bras Across Campus. So we have our own version of this event that'll be happening in September. But Bras Across the Bridge is the community version of this. So what they do is it's not going across our yellow bridge. It's going to be across I believe the Market Street Bridge, or might be Walnut Street Bridge, in downtown Harrisburg. And they string all of these bras, and it's a huge event, all focused around Feel Your Boobies Foundation. Lee Hurst is the founder of that organization, has an incredible story, was very young when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. I think often in our minds we think of breast cancer as something, I'm in college, I'm young, I don't have to worry about that. But really it's important to know you're normal and know what's normal for you. And she has taken that message and created an amazing organization and an amazing event around this. So yes, come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be part of that on August the 12th.
And as always, please make sure that you guys are picking up the activities calendar each and every month. It's going to give you everything you need for what's going on here at Central Penn College, both on and off campus, both just for fun, and even if you would want to, get involved in some of these things in maybe a more official capacity, maybe get some volunteer hours, those types of things. So, Adrienne, as always, we absolutely appreciate your time. I mean, again, I know that you're probably the busiest person on campus, so for you to be able to come down here and be on the podcast every month was much, much appreciated.
I wouldn't miss it. I love it.
Well, thank you very much. We love having you. All right, so for Student Activities Director Adrienne Thoman, this is Professor Paul Miller, and we will be right back with Leonard Chester and several of our Nightly News Media Club students asking a little bit more about the Overcame Foundation, the foundation that Leonard Chester has come up with and founded over the last couple years since he's graduated from Central Penn. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightly News Podcast. We are so fortunate to be again joined by Leonard Chester from the Overcame Foundation. Leonard is a former corporate communications graduate from Central Penn College, and we have a couple of students from the Nightly News Media Club that are down here to ask just a few questions about Leonard and how he got started with the Overcame Foundation, and maybe a little bit more about how his Central Penn education sort of provided that bridge to where he is today. So I'm going to start off with the questions, and then we have 3 more of our corporate communication students who are going to have a couple of questions for you too. One of the things that I teach a lot about in my classes is social media. I was curious if you could just comment a little bit on how you've used social media to grow the foundation and grow just either awareness or whether it's getting donations through social media. Can you talk about how social media has impacted your business?
Yes, social media is very key for what we're doing. A lot of the things that I learned from Central Penn, and actually your class, Professor Miller, Professor Donnelly's about, public relations, because 2 things that I learned is just like when you're in business or anything, you are representing the brand 100% of the time. You could go to the bar, you can go here, you can go there, but you're still representing, the Overcame Foundation. And every day is like, you have a job. Like you go to a job, you clock in and you clock out if you work at like Kmart or anything or Giants or anything around here. But with the foundation and being incorporated and, have the government watching you, have a lot of people watching you, such as Central Penn, you want to make sure you are looking straight all the time. You don't want to post any things that can, come off as curious or absurd or that to any negative thing towards the brand. And advertising, we do a lot. So we work on like analytics. I'm big on analytics. On my social media, Instagram, I'm doing like 18,000 impressions a week.
And may I interject, that is absolutely incredible volume.
Yeah, it started off really slow. We were doing like 1,000 on my page, and then like after I started like doing more speaking, people started getting more engaged. I see the analytics. I see that Philadelphia is my #1 target. I see 50% is females and 50% is males. So the crowd that we're getting is really good and is really diverse with ethnicities and different backgrounds. And also using LinkedIn, you can see like in LinkedIn, you can advertise more strategically. LinkedIn is probably the best platform to advertise for what we're doing, but we also do Facebook and we also do Instagram as well.
Well, you made a very important point there, and it's that, to be honest with you, it all depends on who your target audience is. The people that you're trying to reach, maybe to become donors, may be more active in something like LinkedIn as opposed to other channels. But I'm glad you also mentioned analytics. What you're talking about is exactly what I'm talking about in one of my upcoming classes. So I'm glad that you made the point of how important it is to pay attention to your social media channels, but also how important it is to be professional always on your social media channels. All right, I'm going to turn it over to the members of the Nightly News. Would one of you guys like to just come up, introduce yourself, and ask a question to Leonard?
Well, hello, I'm Darren Green, and I'm corporate communications major here. This is my 4th term here. So I just want to know, because I tend to ask a lot of alumni students, like, what was your Central Penn experience?
My Central Penn experience was quite interesting. I was groomed here. I came here as an immature kid from inner city, from West Philadelphia, and when I got here, I played basketball here, so I traveled a lot with the basketball team with Dave Baker, and also I started as a business major. And honestly, I took one class that changed my major to get in communication, and I took that with Professor Donnelly. I took the class, and it was actually a public relation class that I had no business being in, so I signed up for the wrong class. And, I signed up, and I really started liking, what we were talking about, like traveling and really, being the face of a brand and helping the company with public relations. And that's how I got the idea what I wanted to do with PR. I was groomed here. This was like when I do speeches at Temple or wherever I am. I also always talk about Central Penn was my first breath of air. They gave me my first apartment. I had air conditioner in my apartment. I don't know how it is here, but if your roommate moved out, you could put your beds together. So I'm a big guy, so I was able to stretch out in the big bed.
Yeah, it's the same.
So, Darren, speaking from somebody, you're saying you're just finishing your 4th term, meaning you're coming up on 1 year of being here, being a corporate communication student, and you've already seized this opportunity, be it with the podcast, be it with the Nightway, and a lot of the other things that you're doing with the Nightly News. Do you see a little bit of maybe where you want to be in Leonard from where you're coming out, or maybe what some of your goals are long term?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing. Obviously, you're doing nonprofits. I want to get into commentating, so it's kind of different, but we're on the same. It's on the same track, kind of.
Well, I mean, not even so much necessarily what your end goal is, but really what it's going to take to get there.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
And I honestly think that this is a wonderful role model for any of our students to see, hey, this is what you can do if you put your mind to it. And I will say that I was so proud to have the opportunity to have Leonard in his very last term before leaving. He actually did a really cool professional project with Sarah Bozich and some GK Visual, and they are still around and kicking. I'm sure they would love to see how awesome you've become, Leonard. Right. So, all right, thank you very much, Darren. We're going to go next to the next one of you who would like to ask Leonard a question. Just introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Yuli's back. Question that I have for you is, how did your education help you with this foundation?
The education is key. Getting knowledge is the most... Well, knowledge is really key in anything. My education has pushed me in my career, with studying. I'm reading more, I'm speaking more, I'm looking at the dictionary more. Everything that, I was told to do when I was here, it's like I should have did that when I was here. It's like, because you really need those keys to help elevate your career in a sense, because, knowledge is really key in this business. Anything you do, whether it's doing podcasts or you said you wanted to do commentary, you need the information. My suggestion is getting a mentor. That was really key for me. Getting someone in the business that's doing a really good job. And Overcame is just, we want to do more than just be a nonprofit as well, because we also going to turn this to a for-profit company. We have this thing being created right now. But you guys will be the second group of people to know. We're doing this thing called Circle Talks. So we're emulating the same thing that TED Talk is doing, but we're integrating something with the network too. So we're going to put a speaker in the middle, and we're going to have an audience surrounding the circle. So if you really understand, a circle, and then a person will be in the middle talking. But it's going to be a networking type of event where TED Talks is just, a speaker, next speaker, you're done. We want people to really get a hands-on, intimate feeling. So we're having our first one next month, and that'll be our for-profit company that's going on. We're trying to get the license and insurance right now to take that next step. So without information, I could have an idea, not get a trademark, and somebody could take the idea. So, information is really key.
And two, one of the things that I like to talk about as far as what you learned here to prepare you, I mean, there's nothing that any college that possibly can do to 100% fully prepare their students. But what they can do is expose them to new information, expose them to different channels, and if nothing else, as you said, the idea of mentorship is one of the reasons why I do this job. Mm-hmm. And I'm very fortunate to have had several people, including you, that I've had the opportunity to really touch and motivate to a certain point to go to the next level. And again, I think that we at Central Penn are doing an amazing job trying to mentor our students and share with them the passion that we have for our industries. Yuli, thank you very much.
Thank you.
But this is really cool. I wish we had this when we were here. I remember Jade had this, and we were doing this independently in her dorm room. So, this is definitely growth in Central Penn.
I would agree. Yeah. All right, next, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Kathleen Tarr. This is my 4th term here at Central Penn. Why did you find yourself having trouble getting the pieces together when you first graduated Central Penn?
Yes, that is a great question. My first year out of college, I feel like I knew everything. I was working a job. I moved out my parents' houses, my house, and I had a car, bought a car, and I thought I was living like the American dream in a sense. But honestly, for me, I have this entrepreneurial blood in me, and I was becoming miserable, like clocking in every day, clocking out, clocking in, and clocking out. So, it was tough for me for the first couple years, and I was like, man, this is not for me, So what I did was I called Jade, and Jade, I'm like, Jade, I have this idea, and I feel like it's going to work. And I told her about the idea. She fell in love with it, and it has been a journey. I'm not going to say when we first started, it was like we made a lot of money, because we're still growing, nonprofit doesn't mean we don't make any profit. It's just like federally funded, and we have to make sure everything is documented. I just think, we have to take the bumps with the rewards. Today I'll be talking about my section. Jade's going to do a presentation on Overcame, and I'm going to give people a feeling of Overcame, and I'm really excited.
Well, Leonard, I got to say, I really appreciate you taking this time. I know that you traveled in to be here today, and I know you have a presentation coming up here in just a little bit, but we just want to say as a Central Penn family how proud we are of you and how happy we are that you were able to make time for us today and join us here to talk a little bit more about the Overcame Foundation with some of our Nightly News Media Club students. So we really appreciate the time.
No, thanks for having me.
Well, so for today, this has been Leonard Chester of the Overcame Foundation, and you're going to hear a lot more about the Overcame Foundation at their Common Hour. You can also check them out online. They are located at the overcamefoundation.org, and you certainly can listen to our previous podcast in which Leonard and Jade were on talking a little bit more about the foundation. All right, so for Leonard Chester and for Kathleen Tarr, Darren Green, and Yuliani Sadeo, this is Professor Paul Miller, and we'll catch you next time on the Nightly News Podcast.